having a look around.
He's looking for the stacks. He's got the eye of the Storm Turn on at 140 points of damage to Olin, so he's got confidence.
Yeah. Complexity again. The entire map right now. They're getting kicked off by Smail. He's going to dodge the stun.
He's still going to get hit by the Laguna Blade, but support arrives and snowballing in. This is just getting completely out of control for Complexity. Swinnermelon's locked inside a coffin of ice. Again, they find two more and they just blink forward again. Spirit's jump, side of fifth steering chain, back off cooldown, again on two. I feel like it's a broken record right now.
He
broken for Complexity,
that is. By the way, as well. Just, you know, just a little bit of a bonus. He's playing pretty well this game.
Just, yeah.
Solid Ember performance so far. Maybe he missed a CS early game or something. Then he did that.
Yeah, you scrutinized that missing of CS syndrome. Severe critic.
This is an absolute showing of what this hero can do when it gets momentum, and that's why, you know,
but Complexity
in this game. Yeah, so if Complexity look back on this game and they're like, where did it go wrong? They just have to look at how much they let Samael do in this early game. They gave him an easy lane. They didn't really. The bit of pressure they tried to put in mid lane didn't work.
Again,
it's just really taking over the map right now.
It's crazy though, because most of the time, like the older issue with the Ember Spirit was he just took too long to get online.
Yeah.
Like you'd be thinking 22 minutes, I'll get my Battle Fury, and then maybe I have my Chrysalis by 26, 27, and then slowly you'll come online to the point where you do a lot of damage. We're 22 minutes in, and he's managed to get 12 kills and 5 assists out of the 20 kills that EG have gotten. He wasn't involved in 3 of them. Every other one was Samael either initiating, which he could do even more now as he picked up a Blink Dagger. In fact, just having a nice more fun. Then again, Samael, this could be it. This would be a huge kill. Dragon Knight claiming almost 1,200 gold for that kill. Samael will have buyback, and they'll probably lose their tier 2 tower as well unless they fight this.
They could really catch them off guard with a TP song right now, or just a walk-in song here from Aoi. He's getting a really good angle from above. And if they want to try for it, they might just concede the tower.
There it is.
It's going to sing after they lose the tower. This is very awkward. It's just going to be like, oops, and...
It kind of looks like indecision, but if they blink and then just Walrus Punch the Timber Saw, okay, not going to happen. He's got 17 one charges and a regeneration rune.
EG, they need to be careful. I mean, they're really far ahead on gold, but once again, as I mentioned, in my opinion, just looking at the drafts in isolation, Complexity can beat them in a team fight, even at a gold deficit, I think. It's all about the initiation and about Moon Meander being able to hit stuff with his spells. Definitely tanky enough once Swindle gets 1 or 2 more core items on his Dragon Arrow. Well, just 1 more, actually. He's very, very poor right now, sitting on only the Blink Dagger 24 minutes in and a Bracer. So he needs some sort of health. Armor is definitely not the issue here. If they just get a lot of health on all their heroes, it's going to be tricky for EG here. But this is a good item for UI. Being able to apply the -10 armor with Solar Crest is definitely going to help out and probably give them a real shot here.
Yeah, it's the perfect timing for it. It's kind of interesting though, like we do see the Blink Dagger on the DK. Kind of flags to me the fact that Complexity just don't feel like they got any level of initiation, and DK has to do that for him before he builds into these tanky items. So they try and come out and at least do something against this EG lineup whenever they possibly can. Right now, Roshan is dead. The movement's coming over from Moon Meander. Universe also right in front of him, so in comes Yashakram on the pit line, and if he cancel it out, he was meant to Timber Chain back off cooldown. It's like, you know, he could have actually waited a little bit longer on that one, but Bloodstone Denial will be what happens.
Yeah, you're right. He actually could have waited because all the stuns were on cooldown, but he's not going to.
His Timber Chain would have also come back off cooldown as well. He could have tried to chain back up the hill again.
It's actually, well, he was probably that. Like, the escape paths he had there were not really that useful. But you're right. He could have at least tried for it a little bit longer.
Especially considering that tier 1 tower is currently sitting within deny range. That's 61 life on the tower. Like, all you need to do is have Sven walk up there and hit it twice. And in fact, the TPs are already coming in from EG. At the same time, it almost feels like bait. Smells the first one. Yep, blink, stun him, breathe fire. Now the God's Ring. They need to kill him, and they do it. Aoi, again, very late on that Nagastar and Ultimate.
And the tower. But this is
Fear is here, though.
Cost them.
Fear is here. Smel's going to go for the Searing Chains. He gets Dragon Tail stunned. The Snowball will buy a little bit more space here. The breathe fire, Universe dropping low. They need to keep him up, but it's just not possible for Complexity. The Shallow Grave allowing Sven to continue to fight, but being frostbitten and sigiled and slowed. He just can't reach the target to hit it. Oh, lucky to get out.
I think TBD was really close to a frostbite there.
Sumail also had Sleight of Fist on cooldown, so he couldn't get in range for the Searing Chains.
This is really, really good. It's a very good call in this game. 100% agree with it against this particular team. I think Desolator on Emperor is not as... I mean, in a way it should be better than it used to be because it's cheaper now. But at the same time, the way you build up Ember and the way you plan out the game, you generally want the really hard-hitting crits over just solid, stable damage. But in this game, they simply just need all the minuses that they can get. EG are reading the draft here perfectly, getting both the Crest and the Deso as early as possible.
EG, you didn't really expect anything less from them, even though it did look very, very hairy during the first 10 minutes of Game 1. But they've come back, they're showing they've got the brains in the game, and Fear, he's got his own BKB now up and running. He's another 12. Complexity can't let this happen. Like, the Sven's not getting anything. Like, the last item he picked up, I think, was basically 15 minutes ago, and it wasn't even a Mask of Madness, it was a casual Morbid Mask. He's trying to get into a Blink Dagger so they can keep up with the rest of the team, while on bottom lane, that Snowball's going to keep chasing up Mumianda. He doesn't have mana. The TP out in Universe. Actually caught on the other side of the tree line. Still will get there for the Walrus Punch. Has to chain away and do this the hard way. The shards will lock him in, but again the Timber Chain onto the other side. Universe with a Blink Dagger of his own. Body blocking up the Timber Saw. Another chain away, but Snowball as well as shards back off cooldown. But they're in range of the tier 2 tower, while Swindamelons is actually dying to Sumail. Spirit jump in, Sleight of Fist in 1 second time. That might almost be enough. Jumping around to the Warcry will arrive in for Sven. The Stormbolt as well, but once again, Blink Dagger disjoining every stun the Complexity try and throw out.
He is. You know what kind of game it is when Ember is soloing your Dragon Knight. That is not good.
It's a rough game. It's a rough game. But this tier 2 tower also, days will be numbered. Because even the pushdown for EG is getting stronger. Removing 7 armor from these buildings whenever Sumail connects.
And you can imagine Fear might be thinking of Axe as his next item in this game as well. Has the BKB as well as mech and drums, so very utility.
Unless they try and counter the full armor and goes into something like an Assault Cuirass.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. They need an AC as well. The question is what hero gets it. It could be Fear. They could technically get it on Sumail. I think that would be a bad choice. Tusker is not the worst either, but he's very far away. So yeah, I would agree. I think AC is better than Aghanim this game for the Razor. Although that obviously also applies minus armor, but it's way less reliable and it's not for all the heroes at once.
Sumail is going to go for the damage. It's Crystallis now. Well, there's 28 minutes. I said it was meant to pick up Crystallis, but with a Desolator to boot too. And there's that Blink Dagger over on Sven. So Complexity, they really have to try and find some openings. There is an Observable just watching Fear farming right now. And Mumianda will arrive, but it's a little bit too late. The rest of EG grouping up together. They might try and retake their jungle away from the Complexity players. At the same time, I'm seeing Sumail jump down to a Spirit. He's just heading down south. He runs into the Radiant jungle to find more farm. And Complexity, they're being worked across one side of the map to the other. They want to find initiations, but they can't find EG.
They're just struggling to find openings right now. It's what they need. I think fighting is what Complexity have to resort to because their Sven is as far behind as he is. This hero does not play well from this kind of deficit. He has 74 CS at minute 30 because they chose to safely in the Timber. In comparison, the Razor on the other side, 200 CS on Fear. And AUI, we haven't talked so much about him so far, I think, but he is slowly just climbing up. 106 CS on him, Solar Crest 1800. He could start looking at a Radiance if he wanted to take it really late.
Oh, they found someone. Swindamelons. Yeah. Snowball's coming in, and again Sumail right there at the right time, and it will be the Ember Spirit to take the kill on the DK. Now pushing him up to 15 kills, 6 assists for his 1 death on Sumail.
This is a very good play. Oh, there's a ward. Okay. This could have been a very good play for EG, but the ward saves Fly here. I think Fly was expecting they would start pushing down mid. Sumail was still showing in the mid lane there, but they made a very quick rotation with both CM and the Tusk. Still looking for Fly here, by the way, but he is a goner.
See how confident EG are when they start stacking the Radiant Ancients for Sumail to fight. There's just nowhere on this map that's safe for Complexity to move unless they're together as 5. And even then I would question it. Because the closer they group up together, the more powerful Sumail becomes. They start their defensive warding. So they can see when EG try and force, like, if they're just trying to attack from the side, when they attack into the tier 2 tower, then Complexity will get some vision on that. But how do you counter-initiate this Ember Spirit? if you can't Storm Bolt him because you're going to blink or Spirit away, you Light Strike Array with a Yule Scepter seems to be optimistic at best.
Their only engage is Blink Stun from Dragon Knight.
That's it.
It's the only thing they can really rely on right here. They have to rely on that or catching Sumail by surprise. So if he's not looking, getting...
Oh, the double over on Fly as well as Z-Freak. It was a blink into a Sleight of Fist Searing Chain. He caught both of them, and now Z-Freak tries to run away too. More Spirit jump down for Sumail. Let him have the hit. It's a double kill for Ember Spirit. They're just feeding the fire that is Sumail.
That was really interesting because you could see the immediate thought process of Universe as he snowballed in there. So he wanted to go for a Wall Rush punch on the Dazzle and just kill him. And then he realizes, wait, there's Grave on the Lina. She's porting out. If I just move over and punch her, we can easily chase down with our Ember Spirit. I think a lot of players in that situation would just be like, oh, great, there's Grave on Lina. Let me just kill the other hero with Wall Rush punch. But instead, he actually secures them 2 kills by switching his target. Very well played there. Good detail from Universe.
Smart play by EG, and now Complexity. Their base being attacked. Wind Melons, the snowball comes in. It's just going to be Universe in that. Meanwhile, up on top lane, the God Strength was triggered by Sven to try and bring down their tier 2 tower, but that's the trade-off, and you've just given up 1, your DK, and 2, your ultimate will not be available for this fight, which EG are forcing. Another Sleight of Fist, a Searing Chain, Z-Freak dropping by half of his life, and even more of his armor.
Oh, PPD trying for an aggressive 4-step there, but Moon Meander does turn away.
He's trying to keep his back for the rest of EG.
It's still crazy, right? Like they have a team with so much armor, but Sumail is just so far ahead that it's
just jump in.
Look at this damage he can output.
With 1 hit, he removed half of the life of Sven. I don't think he wants to turn on that Mask of Madness. It's almost suicide underneath this Ember Spirit.
It's gonna... Complexity are gonna have to try to go for a smoke gank and find Sumail again if they can.
We have Aghanim Scepter. We have the Aghanims up for the Timbersaw. So double Chakrams to try and defend the high ground of Complexity. But EG don't really care. Roshan's going to spawn up in roughly 30 seconds from now. So they'll go in, they'll take it. But even like, you could give this to what? Razor? I mean, he's not even coming close to dying right now. You could potentially give it to Sumail because he's a little bit of a glass cannon, but Complexity also haven't really come close to killing him off.
I would definitely give it to Sumail. It gives them a lot more flexibility in the fights with how they can engage. They'll be able to open up very aggressively, set up for a different kind of team fight. And even should he die after with the Aegis, as long as he just gets a fire ring now, he can even buy back and port right back. Or never mind, he can.
Moving hand up. Fia.
He's a good boots of travel carrier.
Moving up after him. Still more stuns available. There goes your Walrus Punch, but Timber Chain can just be used right now to get away. The double Chakrams are down, and Timbersaw frostbitten, and then also the CM ulti. They'll force a denial out with the Bloodstone. But there's your Aghanim Scepter we're talking about over on Razor. The push power is now real for EG, if it wasn't real before. Where is Swindlemelon going? He's got the weave off. And it's negative armor on Ember. He's actually at negative 20 right now. But even then, killing off this Ember is next to impossible. Sven is now at the point where he just has to try and creep skip the top lane to add some level of pressure for EG to look behind them and worry about what's coming. Fear won't get there in time. Sven will be able to TP out, but on bottom lane, Swindlemelons is actually Sumail that could basically do this solo. Leaves a defensive spirit, but he's got help. The Tuskar's there, Universe. There's your defensive spirit jump out. It was on purpose to bait Complexity to come out further. Universe actually not able to hit Fly with that snowball because of the Yule Scepter, but the Stormball connects with Laguna Blade. They get the kill on Sumail.